classes in different places every week. So for a week we had classes at ICC. For a week we had classes at Sciences Po. For a week we had classes at another.
I took advantage of the fact that I'm a female from an underrepresented background when it comes to arbitration. We are Asians.
Adopted SOP, they might not even look at other things. A little controversial, but
yes.
Et moi, j'écris le temps qui passe.
Et toi, tu vis tout seul, c'est bien.
La nuit, la lune, le feu,
Hello and welcome to the sixth episode of the ArbCast podcast. Today morning, while I was having breakfast with a friend of mine who happens to be a one-year junior in law school, he was discussing with me that how he went to arbitration lab in London earlier this year, and his plans as to what he wants to do next. And amongst other things, he said that he plans on going on to the Arbitration Academy in Paris. And I told him what a coincidence that in just 1 hour, I'm having a conversation with two people who went to the Paris Arbitration Academy earlier this year. So I told him I'm not going to discuss it with you. You better watch this particular episode. And with that in mind, I'm joined today with Arisha Sharma and Asini Parod, both of whom have attended the Paris Arbitration Academy in 2025. I'll give a brief introduction about them. Coming specifically for Arisha, she is an associate at a law firm in Delhi. She practices primarily in international disputes, such as international arbitration, but also domestic arbitration and national regulatory litigation. She also is engaged in several arbitration advocacy initiatives, just like I am. For instance, she is the core team member at Arbitration Brits. She graduated from Royal Law School in New Delhi in 2024, and during her law school, she has actively participated in several moot court competitions, notably the Frankfurt moot court competitions, which is on investor state arbitration. So that is for Alisha. Coming to Ashini, she also graduated in 2024 from GECRC University in Jaipur. After that, she took a diploma course from Nalsa University of Law in Hyderabad in media law, and only recently she has completed her master's in arbitration and dispute resolution from Jindal Global Law School, India. And obviously, both of them are attendees of Paris Arbitration Academy. Asuni, for one, has received full scholarship. So she'll be talking about the scholarship aspect today. And Arisha is I think she's the only individual who, as a working professional, got into the academy through the student criteria. So as she talk about her journey as to how did that happen.
thank you so much for actually asking us to give this podcast because a lot of people were asking as well. So I think this will help so many of us.
Indeed.
Yes, thank you so much, Adat. It was such a sweet introduction. I think you concised it pretty well. And yeah, we are very excited to be.
Yeah, that is really the objective. So at a very fundamental level, those who may not know what Paris Arbitration Academy is, you may look at it and see that it's only an institution which will not even provide you a diploma and certainly will not give you any degree. So why should anybody apply for Paris Arbitration Academy? What prompted you to apply, and who should also apply to Paris Arbitration Academy?
Yes. So, okay. So I think both Alicia and I have different experiences. I can talk about mine. So I was already doing my master's at Jindal. And one of my professors actually attended Paris Arbitration Academy in 2023. So while teaching us, he actually inculcated the idea of Paris Arbitration Academy in our minds. And he told us that how this goes about. There are so many people from around the world who apply. The best of the best get selected. Some of them get scholarship. So if you go and learn, if you want to learn more about arbitration from a very global perspective, then you should totally try for Paris Arbitration Academy. So because I was already doing LLM in alternative disputes, I was already working in arbitration. So this was another added step that I thought I have to do it because it's arbitration. Come on, you should do everything that is in arbitration if you're interested. So my inspiration for applying to Paris came from him. His name is Akash Gupta. if some of them.
If you are
Yeah.
in the arbitration space and you don't know Akash Gupta sir is, then
Yeah.
you are living under the rock. Anyways,
Yes.
yeah.
Very like fortunate to learn from him as well. He was my professor. So.
Oh,
Akash, so you have to be on the podcast as well. Anyways,
that's okay.
you,
Yes. Unlike Ashni, my journey has been slightly different. As you mentioned that I pursued during my law school, I pursued Frankfurt Investment Arbitration Moot Court competition. So while back then, when I was doing the competition, we qualified for the international rounds, and I still remember. So that year, the best speaker was supposed to receive the scholarship for the academy, and that is how I got to know about it. And that is when I decided that even though I could not make it, our team could not make that far in the competition. I personally decided that I would like to pursue and see. So that was the year I applied for the academy, and that was the year I decided to apply for the academy. And again, now Akash sir comes into the picture. I started following people on LinkedIn and I tried my best to reach out to people. How can I make sure that I get into the academy? So I reached out to him. I asked him for a research assistantship that year. And yes, he has been one of the main reasons why I could also make it there. And he has been one of the guiding ones through this journey. So yes,
yeah.
that was my journey.
Yeah. Just one point that I would like to add to both of their answers is that any institution, it is not necessarily as to what they provide, but what exposure they give you also. So if you look at the biggest university, the reason why they're biggest is because of the best of best coming there, not only to teach, but also the best of their students. And Paris Arbitration Academy, because they have been around for so long, and it's an initiative done by the biggest names in the arbitration space, is attracting the biggest name. For instance, Gary Bond this year, and also the best students, not just students but working professionals. So it becomes a great opportunity to not just learn arbitration but network. Which brings me which that's a question that we'll be discussing later as to what networking opportunities and what opportunities in general does the arbitration academy provide. But coming to the first aspect, which is the admission aspect. So what any advice do you have on applicants on how to make their application stand out, because it is very.
And one thing that I realized was that you have to be authentic. You're supposed to cite live examples, you're supposed to cite your experiences. What I did during my application process, because I had to write two SOPs, one for the admission and then one for me to get a scholarship. So both the statement of purposes were very different from each other. I did not use AI. Do not use ChatGPT. Do not use any form of AI, because they will know. They will know if you have used it. So cite the work that you have attended. If you have experiences, for instance, for me, I attended SIAC conference that happened in Delhi. I attended some paper presentations related to arbitrations that were happening. I won, I attended, whatever. So I cited my experiences. While drafting a SOP, they want you to be different than others. They want to see what is different in you that the others have not mentioned. A lot of students just mention that they are doing arbitration LLM, they are interested in arbitration, they have worked in arbitration, but what's new? So I would 100% say add something that makes your application stand out. And I think for me, it was the experiences that I had. I mentioned about my professors, I mentioned about my subjects, I mentioned I did research in this subject. If let's say I'm researching about this one particular topic, then I'll mention what was an interesting point in that research topic that actually inculcated and actually motivated me to read more about it. I read about ICC. I mentioned some ICC cases that actually made me want to go to ICC and study. Gary Bond, we were already studying. So, of course, I cited a little about Gary Bond, Patricia Sass. So, you have to add something new, something that they'll read and they'll be like, oh, yeah, she knows something more than the other. So, you have to have that edge. You have to be smart while drafting your SOP. Do not write long SOPs. I will say maximum 2 pages, maximum 2 word pages, 1.5 to 2 word pages, and that's it. So it has to be crisp, but very intelligently drafted SOP. So, and then another thing is CV, because you have to submit your CV as well. So same thing for CV, very crisp, 2 page CV, maximum 2 page CV. I will suggest 1 page. if 1.5 if that's possible, but like 2-page crisp CV and your academics, experiences, your co-curricular, your publications. That's it. Because they do not need more. So I think that's how you're gonna stand out.
Yeah, just to follow up on staying on this particular topic. So a lot of potential applicants may look at your profile or other people profile who have gone to Paris Arbitration Academy or such, other initiatives. Uh, and they may see that, their profile may not match with their profile in the sense that they may not have done a Frankfurt moot. They may not have been published in international journals and blogs. And so do you think that these credentials, not having them is a massive disadvantage in the sense that so long as you do the right things in drafting the right SOP, but if your CV is not up to less comparable to someone like, let's say, Arisa or you, is that a massive disadvantage, or can a good CEO SOP cover up for that disadvantage?
I don't think it's a massive disadvantage. I don't think it's a disadvantage either. I think a good SOP can cover up for everything. I have not done Frankfurt. I have not done Wismut. I have not done the famous arbitration moods because my UG university did not have those. I mean, we did not have teams and everything. Everything that I know about arbitration is because of my learnings and because of my Jindal experiences. So I started a little late, but I got through with the scholarship. And I think I got through because of the scholarship, because of my SOP and my letter of recommendation. Of course, I have to thank all of my professors. But the SOP can, if you have a really good, well drafted SOP, they might not even look at other things.
Okay, I would like to add on to this one. I think, in my opinion, unlike Ashni, she has already been pursuing a master's course, which gives her an added advantage in this case. But I would recommend that if you're planning to apply and you're still in your bachelor's, like you're yet to graduate and you're a young professional who's already graduated, then in that case, I think it would help a lot if you can like still work upon your resume. As I mentioned before, that I started working for the academy well in advance, an year before I actually applied for the academy. So that whole year, I made sure that I work in that direction and I put in as much as I can in my resume so that I get into the academy. So I think if you're still pursuing your undergraduation, then you can still work on it. You can still do moot court competitions. There's so many other moot court competitions happening these days where like I think it will only take you like some months, unlike the big ones, which might take 6 or 7 months out of your law school, you can still pursue it. And then there are other co-curricular activities as well. Like I am currently associated with arbitration bids. That is one such thing where you can put yourself in, like you can work for as content creation. So there are a lot of things these days which you can pursue. So I think you should not restrict yourself. You can add on as many things as you want to make sure that you get in, because the people we came across in the academy were way too good. And I think if you're competing with those people, you have to keep this in mind. So yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. So while it is true that it is not a massive disadvantage, that does not give you a reason for you to not pursue things what people usually pursue during their law school. And if nothing else works out, then guys, you can always have a arbitration podcast.
Yes.
But Ashwini, you spoke about having letter of recommendations and said they were good letter of recommendation. So what constitute a good letter of recommendation, and how do you approach people to get one? And yeah, if you could just talk about that.
Okay, so for my letter of recommendations, I took it from my professors personally. It was an added advantage because I was already doing my LLM from Jindal in alternative disputes. So I had really good professors. One of them attended this PA 2020 in 2023, and I knew some more who have attended. So luckily, they were teaching me the entire semester. I worked with them, so they knew me and they were happy to write it for me. So what I did was I simply mailed them. I told them that I want to apply for this and I need a letter of recommendation. I'll be grateful. And they just asked me to mention some of my achievements and the papers I wrote for them and everything. And then they inculcated it in a sweet little LOR and they just gave me. But I know that a lot of professionals and a lot of people from other institutions, and they might not have people they can reach out to easily. So what I have suggested people is start talking to people, start connecting to people on LinkedIn. Start connecting to people on LinkedIn, maybe somebody you have worked with, you have interned with. If you have good connections, you can always go and ask them, and I think they will give you an LOR. But I would always say, and Alicia and I had a discussion about this on the first day as well when we actually met, that it's important that you ask LOR from somebody you have worked with. It is very funny to just go to somebody you have only talked for 10 days and be like, hey, can I get a LOR? Because that doesn't work like that. So maybe somebody you have a fruitful connection with, you have worked with, ask them very sweetly that I need a
I would
LOR for
just like
this.
to say, I would also like to add on to it, and I would like to say that make sure that you do it well in advance because it takes time for them, they'll get back to you, and it's a whole process. And I would recommend that do not keep it for the last moment. You should be prepared for it. It cannot just be professors. People do give their LORs. One of our batchmates from the academy, Piyush, he ended up giving LORs from some reputed judges. I think that might help. And in my case, I ended up taking up my LORs from managing partners of different law firms and my college dean. So those are also things I think you can consider.
Yeah. And also, one aspect is that it is not just the quality of the person who's drafting the ROR, but the quality of the ROR itself. So, if you just know the person, you have worked with them for a month, and even though the person is a massive name, that may not still hold as good as someone you may have worked for over a year, but is not a big name in arbitration. So, it is not just the
Can
yes.
I give a quick advice on this?
Yeah.
So what you do is you just draft a quick LOR as a draft and you send them that. You'll be like, I have drafted a little LOR for your your pursual. Just look at it, if you like it, edit it, whatever. Just give it to them because they don't have so much time. If this makes their work easier, and it'll be faster for them to actually be like, okay, fine, I'll just edit and give it. Because if you think they're gonna sit and type everything, not a lot of people have that time in reality. In
Irrespective of that, I
Especially in
think this is
India.
how the practice goes. Most of the people would ask you to write an LOA for, I mean, I don't think, but yeah, this
Yeah,
is how
it's a little
it's.
controversial, but
Yes.
I
just
hope
send a draft.
no one from the academy is watching.
Just
But
send
Okay.
it.
this is how
Um,
it works.
Yeah. Staying on the topic of admissions, there may be candidates who want to apply, but are demotivated by the fact that might have to spend a lot of money in traveling to Paris and also the tuition fees. So what are the scholarship opportunities that the academy provides? On staying on that particular question, like how are these scholarships given? Like because these scholarships are given to people coming from around the world. So is it like targeting to like a different jurisdiction? Like at least from one jurisdiction, we need at least these many scholars, or are they just purely merit based on an absolute basis? So if you could shed some light on the scholarship aspect.
I think Ashni can take up the academy scholarship first, and then I'll explore what are the scholarship opportunities are available.
Apart
Yeah.
from the academic scholarship. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So the academy provides scholarship for students. So, and for government, they have fee waivers. For government institutions, from people coming from government agencies, there can be fee waivers if financial aid, they need financial aid and everything. They have a different process. For legal practitioners, there is no scholarship, but Alicia is an exception here. She'll explain that later. But for people who are practitioners, I think the amount is somewhere around 2,700 euros. And you can also go check on the university, the PA website. So, because I was already enrolled in an institution, I was considered a student. Even somebody who's doing a PhD, who's enrolled in an institution, will be considered a student. So, if you're doing a PhD, please apply as a student only. If you get a scholarship, you get a 2,000 euro scholarship. I'll just explain the scholarship and then we'll come to how to get the scholarship and how do we go about it. Okay. So, 2,000 euro scholarship, out of which 900 euros are already deducted as the tuition fee. So you get remaining 1,100 euros for your own expenditure. Now, how you spend that 1,100 euros is on you. You can book tickets out of it, you can book your Airbnb out of it, you can just travel around, see. So that's on your thing to decide. But 900 they take, so you have an extra 1,100. That's what I got. How to go about it? So to get this scholarship, you have to write a different SOP, your statement of purpose for getting the scholarship. Now I'll come to the same points. While writing your SOP, just make it stand out. To make it stand out, you have to be authentic. For me, what I wrote was that I just wrote that I'm already studying so much about it. Paris arbitration as a student is going to be my last chance, because I don't know if I'll be doing my PhD later or not. I did not write that, but I just made it sound that I'm already doing LLM. LLM is only of 1 year. Paris is going to come this semester. It is going to be very difficult for me later to manage my expenses. I am so passionate about this because I keep writing my dissertation on this topic. I have written so many papers on this topic. I'll explain my papers that I was writing something on Sharia arbitration. So I was explaining in my SOP that what it is about, how Gary Born actually inspired me, how I used a little of his theories to, not a lot, but a little, so that they know that, okay, I know something about it. So yeah, I wrote my SOP in a very emotional, but in also a very intellectual manner of writing. So I used my that I need the scholarship, otherwise I can't come. If I don't get the scholarship, my parents are not going to send me. So I use that. So I think you have to write your experiences, and then everything is on luck.
Any supporting documents that did you provide to prove that you need these financial support, or is
Not
that not
really.
needed? Not needed.
Not really. Not really. I did not submit anything. I know another friend who got a scholarship. He did not submit anything.
And
Yeah.
how, like, what are they looking at to give a scholarship? Is it just the need or anything else apart from that?
I think they look at the need factor. I think they do look at the need factor. How, again, it comes down to how well you have drafted your SOP. Plus, I know they look at the jurisdictional aspect also. I think they do. Because but again, so another friend of mine, Sahil, got this scholarship. He's also Indian technically, and I also got this scholarship. And we were like two Indians got this scholarship, and not a lot of people from the same country get it. So I think it's on their free will. How they are doing it, it's on their own thing. I think luck also
I
plays a very
mean,
big
let's be
factor.
honest, they have been very nice towards Indians.
Yes,
Very
yes,
gracious.
five Indians in academy, the largest amount of population from any country was India.
Oh,
So they
500
have
people
been
must have
kind.
a pride. 500 people must have a pride.
Yeah.
Anissa, do you have anything to say on that?
Yeah. So I would like to focus on the what other scholarships you can get and what other options you can explore when it comes to scholarships. Worst case that you do not get the scholarship from the academy. So what else can you do? And of course, I would suggest everyone to prioritize the academy scholarship first. But if not, then I think you should be well prepared in advance because it's one hell of an opportunity. So I wouldn't want anybody to miss out on it, especially because of this very reason that it's not financially this accessible. So I would recommend them to explore. So during my time, I was very clueless about it, and I ended up doing a lot of research. And there are not many institutions which provide scholarship for summer courses. So, and especially when it comes to arbitration, it's very new. So there are not many. And the only organization which provides scholarship for summer courses is AAA ICDRC. All of the people can go and look for it, and it has a diversity scholarship, so it's not just merit based, but your jurisdiction will also come into the picture. So I took advantage of the fact that I'm a female from an underrepresented background. When it comes to arbitration, we are Asians, so that is another added advantage. So that is what they take into consideration. Again, the process is that you apply, you have to make a very brief SOP, unlike what we send to the arbitration academy. In that case, I think you have to restrict yourself to 500 words, and that is too less. So to tick off all the criterias and to explain them why do you need this. fellowship, scholarship. That is what they call it, diversity scholarship. So I think that is one option you can explore. And then there are more options and even I think they offer somewhere around $4,000, which would still not be enough. But that would, if you're a law student, then that would suffice because you will be able to manage your professional fee with it. And then they additionally give you $2,000, but you also have to justify everything and where are you spending all of those things. And plus, it's a post-paid scholarship. So that is another thing which you need to take into consideration because once you are done with the academy, you'll have to invest your own funds into it. And once you're back from the academy, that is when you'll receive the amount of the scholarship. So that is one such scholarship. Then there are more opportunities. Like I came to know about it later on that Young Johnny Video Fellowship is also there, and they also provide you somewhere around 2,500 euros, I guess. But yeah, I think it's not easy to get that one. So that is another option. And then, of course, you can always go for sponsorship opportunities. You can always approach the people you have worked under, try to convince them why should they invest in you, how can what do you bring on the table. And then in my case I went crowdfunding, so I had to convince people. And unlike a lot of other people, in my case I sought a deferral when I was a law student because my final year exams were clashing. And later on, when I was supposed to go to the academy, I was a professional and I was supposed to pay triple the amount. And I was certain that I couldn't have afforded it. So I decided to to go very creative about it. I made a 15-16 page brochure, and I went ahead and I made two brochures. I made a sponsorship brochure, which I ended up sending to very leading professionals in this industry. And you can find that a lot of data is available on the internet. So you have to make the right use of it. Go do whatever you can. I approached all of the legal professionals I knew in my capacity and the ones I did not even know. So one of my alumni from my college came forward and he was gracious enough to sponsor me for it. And of course, Mr. Darius Kambata, he's well known in the profession. He ended up sponsoring. So that is one way. But I wouldn't recommend people to go for sponsorship unless it's really needed. So that was one thing. And then I also so it is this year that Academy introduced this concept of giving fee waivers to the government professionals. And I was very open to it. I assume that if they're open to granting it to government professionals, I might as well just try my shot at it. And I might try convincing them for granting me one. So I converted the same brochure into a fee waiver proposal for them, and I ended up emailing it. I just took my chance, hoped for the best, and I did it, and it worked out for me. But unlike me, a lot of people will not fall in the gray area I did. So I made the best use of it, but I would recommend that you explore all the opportunities possible. And there are a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of people who are recognizing that Academy is doing such a great job. They're offering such they're bringing such renowned professors on the table. So yes, I think it's totally worth it.
That is very insightful. Now, having said that, after you do all these right things, you still do not get a scholarship. Would you recommend one going to Paris Arbitration Academy? That's one. And second, what would be the cost, estimated cost, of someone who is going to PA at their own expense?
If you are from a if you're from a financially good background, then why not? Because there are a lot of courses, and I know what this course can do and how this course would add on to your resume. So I think it is very subjective. Yes, Ashni, you had something to add on it.
Yes, because I wanted to give a very practical breakdown of how much money it might take because we were there the last month, and I'll just tell you according to that. Let's say you are a student or a government official, your fees will be 900. Okay, so 900. If you're a legal practitioner, then of course it's gonna be a lot because 2,700 is your fee. So I don't recommend either. But let's say you are a student or a government official, you pay 900 euros, and then you have to travel. You have to book your flight tickets. You have to also eat. If you're going to Europe, you also need a visa. So the visa costs a lot. If you're going to Europe, then I'm assuming you also want to travel a little because you're going, you might want to go out on weekends. So if you have to add on all of it, it's gonna be somewhere around 3 lakh rupees, Indian rupees, apart from the 900 euro that you're already paying. Because Europe is expensive. It's not even cheap. If you even want to go out and eat in a restaurant, it's gonna cost you somewhere, it'll start from 10 euros. What's 10? 10 is like somewhere around 1,000 bucks. Any, like, even one dish will start from 10 euros. So, okay, so what we did was we booked an Airbnb together. So, Alicia, I, three more of our friends, two of them from India, one from another country, we all actually talked before and we booked an Airbnb way outside the city. So, every day we used to travel for 1 hour. And it was our struggle because we signed up for it. We wanted to save money. But all of us, for let's say 3 weeks, we paid somewhere around 40,000 Indian rupees. For like a very small Airbnb wherein we used to cook our own food, wash our own clothes. We were sharing one washroom. We used to go to Carrefour grocery store, get our groceries, cook our own food every day, take our lunches to the academy, and that's how we managed because we wanted to save our money. If you are ready to save money, and even after saving all the money, I'm telling you, after saving as much money you can, you're still gonna like there's gonna be expenditure of 2 lakhs if you're also paying the fees. So good two to 3 lakhs. So yeah, you have to choose your expenses, and if you have that much amount of money, then of course go for it. Otherwise, just see how you wanna use it. Another quick point I wanna share, and that is very important, is your visa process. So you get a confirmation 1.5 months before you have to go. That was the time I got it. For me, I was traveling to another place, so I was very quick to apply for visa the day I got the acceptance from there. You have, because you have to also select the dates you want to give the interview, and then you have an interview. There are high chances a lot of time, because this happens in a very touristy time. They might not have the dates, and you have to apply for a short term visa. So it takes like another 10 to 20 days to arrive as well. If you do not get the visa, then you do not have another opportunity to actually sign up again for a visa interview. So I know two friends who got this scholarship as well, but did not get the visa. So they could not attend the Paris Arbitration Academy this year, which is very unfortunate because if you're
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah, and
that's it.
I also know of these two unfortunate cases because I was scrolling through internet. It came on my feed as well, and it's very unfortunate. And I think, apart from doing what we're supposed to do, what Ashwini mentioned, you should also try to inform and campaign to the academy that this is the timeline that we Indians have to go through. So if you could just release the results a lot prior than you usually do, it will help us to communicate with the visa embassy and whatnot. In a much better way. So yeah, that is on the aspect of admission and scholarship. I would now be pivoting to the aspect of attending the PA itself. So, how was your experience like in the PA? Obviously, learning from the best would really be intellectually stimulating. But apart from that, like practical skills that you develop, networking opportunities, what do the academy offer you as a whole? So if you could just talk about that. Either one of you.
Yeah. I think apart from academics, so academically it is an amazing opportunity because you'll get to learn from one of the world's best renowned professors and legal professionals. So that academically it is amazing opportunity. But apart from that, I think I made pretty good use of it. It's an amazing opportunity to build your network. So if you're a law student in your final year, and even if you're a young professional, I think you can make the best out of it, and you can build the foundation for your future in this profession. And I think it also allows you to explore your foundation in this profession, and if you really want to pursue it in the future or not, you'll get the clarity over the fact that what this profession demands in future, and there are so many other skills which are also needed. Net, specifically when it comes to networking, I think you should make the best out of it by not just networking within the academy, because we all anyway tend to network with the with our peers. But what you can do is that you go out of your way, approach the professors, and even when it comes to the networking events which the academy offers, you should go you should go out of your comfort zone. You should approach the people, because there are a lot of people, there are a lot of legal professionals across the Europe, I guess. Yes, across the Europe, because I ended up meeting not just professionals from Paris, but from Belgium and other countries as well. Switzerland included, Switzerland and every other place. So I ended up meeting them. I did not shy away from asking them, I think we should meet over a coffee chat or something. And that takes you a long way in the profession. I have had some amazing experiences based upon these conversations. Like, I ended up meeting managing partners of the firms across Europe. I ended up asking them for coffee chats, went to the coffee chats, had a good chat with them, and I'm sure I can connect with them any day.
On the aspect of networking with professors, so how approachable are they? For instance, like how approachable was Gary Bond of all people, and how
They are very approachable.
Very down to earth.
In- yeah, initially you might think that, oh, they might
Yes.
not talk and everything. Um, that happened with Gary Bond for like I think all of us. But then when he started speaking and
Yes.
then when we started asking him questions, he was happy to help. We were discussing this topic in the class, and I just mentioned that I'm doing a research paper on this. I've written my dissertation. He was so sweet. He asked me, "Can you send me the dissertation?"
Yes.
I sent him the dissertation on mail. He told me during the break, "Hey, I received your dissertation. I'm gonna read it." So I mean, when you think about it, it's like you're meeting your hero. It's like you're meeting somebody you read. And if that person himself is asking you to send your paper to him, that's another relief. So, of course, very approachable. Do not shy away. You have to do the
Yes.
first step, and then all your steps are open.
I
All
think
your doors.
you can also do this very short practice, which I rely upon a lot. But you have to stay connected to them, so you can drop them feedback mails about their lectures. And they actually, a lot of professors asked us that you should drop us feedback mails. How did you like our lectures and all? And anything, if there's anything that you can feel free to reach out to us on emails. So just drop them a thank you mail, and yes, that is one way to go about it. But overall, everyone was very approachable. They were very open to talk about things apart from the academics as well. So, yes, that is one thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and as an experience, like, is it just the lectures that you guys have at PA, or do they have like active sessions, like mini moot court competitions or site visits to like all the institutions in Paris?
Tell us
So
about it. Yes.
yeah,
Okay, so they don't have competitions, mini competitions. It is very much about
But we are
arbitration.
very competitive.
Yeah, it is competitive, and it's also very alternative disputes resolution. It's about that only. So, and we do not have moods and everything, but we do have special lectures on different locations in the city, of course. So we
Yes.
had this one
Workshop.
workshop or lecture on the cruise.
Okay, that was a debate.
It was
That
a
is
debate.
the best
The
experience.
Emmanuel Gaya
Yes.
debate, right? Yeah. So we had that on the cruise.
whether the
So we
debate
had
has
that.
to be very captivating for it to be on the cruise, because otherwise you just
Yes.
look at the view outside.
Yeah. So two of them were doing a very nice, very constructive debate, and we were sitting. We had like a 1 hour thing, and then we were on the cruise upstairs. It was a networking thing.
It
We
was a
were having.
private cruise just for the academy people. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there are
One.
other legal professionals which you end up meeting there. So yes, it was one hell of an opportunity to network.
Plus, you have classes in different places every week. So, for a week, we had classes at ICC. For a week, we had classes at Sciences Po. For a week, we had classes at another place. So that's how it works. So, of course, you'll be traveling. That's why you have to book your accommodation nearby in the main city if you have the money, because traveling so much is very, very difficult in Paris.
Yeah, speaking of accommodation, so you and I were discussing that the academy does not itself provide accommodation and do not even give you leads as to where you can get accommodation. So it is a complete, it's a massive issue because you're not familiar with the city. So any advice on getting the right accommodation which is close to the institution while being not that expensive, and any other tips regarding accommodation?
Yeah, if you go to the website of Paris Arbitration Academy, they do mention CITE University. I think something about that. So
But I think it's pretty expensive.
it is 60,000 rupees.
Yes,
Somewhere around
we ended up
60,000.
spending 45,000
Yeah.
bucks on our accommodation. So I think we managed, but I would still recommend that if you're getting, and it's not an easy process to get into city.
We
It's
all
such,
applied. We did not get
it's
through.
not, it
They
is
don't
not
have.
at all an easy process
Yeah.
to get in. You have to
Yeah.
be, you have to be applying well in advance. In fact, I would recommend that but they would need documents. But I would recommend that even if you haven't made it to the academy yet, but you're sure about your application, then I think you can apply well in advance for the city. I think that would help.
Because city is in the, it's a very approachable place from everywhere that you're going to have the
But I
classes
would
from.
stress upon this fact that we took an accommodation which was very far from the city center. And
Mhm.
it could be a disadvantage because there are so many times when you would want to spend that time networking, and you be worried about going back to your home, make it on time, things like
Yeah.
these. So I think
Yeah.
this might act as a demerit, and they should take into people applying should take it into consideration. And I think I'll be more than willing to spend more, 15,000 more if I get city. So yes, I would prefer staying in the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah. So again, depends on the money you have and the money you
Yes.
can.
Okay. Apart from accommodation, let's say someone has got into the academy. Any other tips, or what does it do before arriving?
Logistically speaking, if you are doing it in the same time as we did, which was last month, carry mini fans with you. It's very hot in Paris. And surprisingly, we did not think that through because we were like, it's Paris. How hot can it be? It's as hot as India, but without air conditioning and fans.
Yes.
So it was like the first week was so tough for us. So like carry mini fans. If you are a vegetarian, 100% carry food ready to eat. It is
Yes.
important because it was a
Actually,
tough.
actually, yeah.
Yeah, I carried a bag full of ready to eat because I was
Yes.
like, what do I do? Carry your water bottles along, apply for visa. I already discussed that, so that's very important. Logistically, I mean, that's it. Don't carry a lot of clothes because you have, again, cabs are expensive. So you have to carry your bags if you're like moving, traveling,
Oh, yes.
everything.
Got
So
it.
yeah, like
Always carry your shoes with you.
carry shoes, pack smartly.
Yes,
Uh,
Europe makes
get a
you walk a
metro
lot.
card. Get a metro card. Like for three
Hmm.
weeks, just get a 95 euro metro card, and then it applies for metro, your trains,
So what I
your.
do,
I mean, they have
yeah,
local trains as well. Yeah, so
what I do
everything.
want to add to this is that earlier I mentioned that you should consider taking and applying for AAA ICTRC scholarships. So since it's a post-based scholarship, they would require you to give them a whole, for example, you're traveling. So you have to hand them over a receipt of all of the expenditure you have done. So I would recommend that you save all of the receipts, take a picture, click a picture in the moment and save it so that you can mail it to them while you're compiling your documents. So this is one
Also,
thing.
yeah. Also, they provide you with the reading material some days before you arriving. Skim through them. It is important because if
I,
like I was doing my LLM in arbitration, so I knew about a lot of topics. But I know if you're working, if you are a professional, you might not know a lot
just
about the
brush up
academy.
your basics.
Yeah. So just skim through it. Do not go in detail because it's a lot of topics and you are going to experience and learn more when you're discussing that in class. But it's always nice if you know a little about the topic, you can always ask questions. And Indians are notorious and famous for asking questions. All the
Yes,
Indians in the class were very
yes.
active in asking. So kindly, uh, I mean, we all want that to still stay.
The
So
legacy
100%.
has to go on.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So moving on to the next question, which also happens to be the final question, and I think we have touched upon it a little bit, but this is where you can talk about everything you want to talk about the academy. So how can one have the best experience considering the fact that you both have done it recently? What you should do and what you should refrain from doing to have the best experience, not just academically, but overall in the grand scheme of things.
Ashni, go ahead first.
Okay, so okay, to be very honest, I believe in vision boards a lot. And Paris, Eiffel Tower was on my vision board from a year. For me, more than about the course and everything, because we are talking about the large scheme of events, it was also about visiting Europe in summer. Yes, summer in Paris, all those things. So I think if you are interested in academics and if you can get a scholarship to visit a beautiful place as Europe or Paris is, it is going to give you so many experiences. You will experience, you are going to be 24 or whatever your age is, very young and in Paris for a very short time. So I was mesmerized every time I used to walk through the streets. I was like, wow, I love it. So you're going to learn a lot, you're going to experience, you're going to talk to a lot of people, meet so many different kinds of people, professionals, mindsets. It's going to be a very like a good journey, a journey full of growth and experiences. And when you're going to come back, you're going to know more than you had about arbitration. So 100%. If you have a seat, go for it. If you have the resources, I mean, don't even think about not going. You have to go. It's good.
Yes, I think I would agree with Ashni in a lot of sense. Paris has always been my dream, so I had to go to Paris. That was one of the major reasons why we all were there. And again, Paris is the hub of international arbitration, so it will open up a box of opportunities. And I would suggest that you make the best out of all of them. But yes, for example, it's amazing networking opportunity. You have to go make sure that you network with your peers outside your academy, all of the people. And now Academy has also introduced some new concepts. And this year, people who are applying for the Academy, I'll just put it out there that year will be a big one because it's 15th anniversary of the Academy. So I'm sure they'll be coming up with something better.
Sorry,
That
it was
is
what?
This is 15th year.
Okay, okay.
So this is the 15th session, and they will for sure make sure that it would be a good one. This year they introduced alumni meet, so we got to meet all of the people who were still who did this course and then they are practicing in Paris. So yes, that is one thing, and it will also teach you a lot, and it would act as an eye opener on things that you have to work upon and what is the gap that you have to bridge, because there are people who already know 6 languages, and there are people in the academy who are doing so well in their profession. So I would recommend that do not dishearten yourself, and take it as an opportunity to grow and learn. And I think that and you it'll also allow you to explore the fact that are you meant to, and you can, since you're there for a month already and you are experiencing a completely different culture, it allows you to grow from a perspective that do you want to practice outside India or not. I think that is one thing that you can explore about yourself for. And yeah, I think we have majorly covered all of the other points already.
A quick
So
point we forgot to cover earlier was they also ask you to write articles. They give you a
oh
topic.
yes,
Yeah, they give you a topic some days before, maybe like after a week, and then you have to submit an article on that particular topic, and you're awarded if your article is the best.
so I
Like
would
first,
recommend
yeah. If you want to
that
write,
article. Yes.
go ahead, write it. It's nice. You get another meritorious award out of it. I think we
Yes.
were just very tired traveling and
Yes.
networking and everything. We couldn't do it. But if you have the time, effort, and the mindset to do it, 100%, it's also very
Yes,
good.
you should do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to add one thing, which I think what Arisha mentioned towards the end, which is that when you talk about international arbitration, there are bigger hubs such as Paris, Geneva, which are as compared to other hubs such as let's say seats in Africa or in India. So, and
Yes.
many individuals, arbitration aspirants from these countries want to work in these hubs. But that desire can only be well formed once you have actually stayed there, lived there, worked there. So PA is one such opportunity which allows you to be in one of the biggest hubs of arbitration, which is Paris, and give you better insight as to whether this is something you really want to do or no, because you're living there for a couple of weeks and whatnot. So that is something that is very rightly pointed out by Risha. And apart from that, I think we have covered a lot that we wanted to cover. And if there are any other questions that the audience may have, then I'll be sharing their contact details in the description. You may reach out to them, and they're very helpful in guiding you. And apart from that, thank you so much both to Alisha and Ashini for taking out time and being here. And we look forward to hosting you again in future, maybe in some different course that you guys have done.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
Albert,
much.
and all the best for your future ahead. And you're doing a great job with this podcast.
Thank you.
Yes.